This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, other ho, there's Joe David. Welcome you back to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, August the 17th, is an NCAA icon. Known for his work with the Duke Blue Devils and giving them back-to-back titles in 91 and 92. He had a famous shot. He was not really much in the NBA. He played 13 years for 6 different teams. He got one All-Star appearance, but basically he's known for his college career more so than the NBA. A little bit sad, but whatever. Anyway, his name is Christian Laettner, who's now 54 years old. He was born and raised in Angola, New York, close to Buffalo and Niagara Falls, to a blue-collar Roman Catholic family. His father was a newspaper press plant printer, say that 3 times fast, of Polish descent. And his mother was a teacher. So anyway, both he and his older brother Christopher would actually be farm laborers to supplement their allowance. He would attend a private school and all that. He actually did janitorial work at that school to defray some of the costs. He actually did quite well and was very much a massively sought after college recruit. St. Bonaventure, close to where he lived, gave him one and all that. But then he narrowed his schools to 11. He liked the ACC, so it was either Duke, North Carolina, or Virginia. So he would attend Duke and play under Mike Krzyzewski from 1988 to 1992. He looked pretty good for himself and all that. In his freshman year, he helped Duke get to the Final Four. I assume it's 1988-89 when the Wolverines of Michigan won the title. In 1990, he was part of the Duke team that got their butts whipped by UNLV by 30 points on April Fool's Day 1990, which was, and still is, the largest victory margin in a championship game by a team, and also Brett Musburger's last time on CBS. So anyway, in 1991, the Duke Blue Devils had a tough match against UNLV in the Final Four. Laettner and subsequently Bubba Hurley would help Duke win that game and then take down Kansas to win their first school title. And then in 92, Duke did much better than that on an amazing role and all that. So anyway, regardless, he won the 91-92, getting 21 being 21-2 in NCAA tournament games, which was amazing and all that. Records at the time, still records. His number 32 was retired just before the 92 NCAA tournament. He's in the College Basketball Hall of Fame. Well, why wouldn't he? He holds many NCAA records. Most games won by a player, 21, and most games played in the tournament, 23. I mean, dude, people leave the NCAA after 1 or 2 seasons, and he stayed for all 4 seasons. He has the most points scored, 407. Most free throws made in free throw attempts. So yeah, he still holds his records. Everyone knows about his clutchness in 92. However, Laettner was actually more clutch than you think. It was actually his stuff against Kentucky foreshadowed what he did in the 90 regional final, or quarterfinal, if you will, against UConn. Duke was actually down by 1 point with 2 seconds left. And UConn, who got in on a buzzer beater by Tate George against Clemson, got bit themselves. He who lives by the buzzer beater dies by the buzzer beater, as Laettner made a dramatic jumper. And he got the game-winning free throws against UNLV. I thought it was Hurley. Anyway, he was named MVP of the 91 tournament. In 92, which I did on this day about March 26th, I think, or was it 28th? Can't remember. But anyway, in 92, Kentucky would take on Duke in a great matchup for a spot in the Final Four. Laettner got the pass from Grant Hill, who knew about throwing baseball passes because his father, Calvin, played in the NFL for the Cowboys. But anyway, he threw a shot. Laettner caught the ball, but then he had the audacity, if you will, to dribble a couple times and then shoot the ball and put it through the hoop, giving Duke the 102-101 victory in what was known as the shot. The funny thing about that is, as good as that with that buzzer beater, it kind of overshadowed the fact that he went 10 for 10 on his shots and 10 and 10 free throws. So he basically made, I think, one 3-pointer, the rest were 2-pointers, and then he had 10 free throws for 31 points. It was just unbelievable and all of that. And helped Duke win the title against Michigan. Lots of people like it and all of that. I shot and all that. Unfortunately, though, Laettner kind of was known for being a bad boy, if you will. He was reviled by opposing fans throughout his career, to the extent of more than 20 years after graduating from Duke. ESPN had an online poll. He was the most hated college basketball player in history. That's kind of weird. ESPN actually created the 30 for 30 documentary, I Hate Christian Laettner, that had explored 5 factors why there was a hatred: race, privilege, bullying, greatness, and physical appearance, and all that. Anyway, what ended up happening is, during that Duke Kentucky game, he actually stepped on the chest of Kentucky player Amino Timberlake. No relation to Justin Timberlake, but anyway, yeah, during the 92 regional final. It was a technical foul. Fortunately, though, he was not ejected. Man, what would have happened if he had been ejected? So yeah, the race, privilege, and greatness and all that. Yeah, like, they do that for 2013. I mean, dude, this is like 10 years after that documentary, right? Anyway, he went to the 1982 draft, and Orlando had Shaq on their mind. I can't remember. I think it was Alonzo Mourning's second to the Hornets, because if memory serves me right, so then had that game-winning shot against Boston to sink the Celtics in the 93 playoffs. But anyway, Minnesota decided to take him 3rd overall. He played 13 years in the NBA, scoring over 11,000 points, getting 5,800 rebounds. His first 6 seasons, he looked pretty good and all that, and got to the All-Star game as a Hawk in 1997. After Minnesota traded him to Atlanta for Spud Webb, which was a crime. I mean, why would Atlanta trade Spud Webb? Anyway, he helped Atlanta get twice to the second round of the playoffs, but that's his best playoff performance. He would play for 6 different teams, got traded 6 times, and never spent more than 4 full seasons for any team. Unfortunately, he would be suspended in 2004 for using marijuana. The Dream Team in 92 needed a collegiate. The fact of the matter is that in 1989, FIBA allowed professional players to play for their countries at the Olympics. The Americans were still good. I mean, the Americans all but 2 times won the gold medal at what they call the amateurs only tournament at the Olympics. To appease the traditionalists, the Dream Team decided to put 1 collegiate on their team, and that was Christian Laettner. He was inducted to the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame, FIBA Hall of Fame, and Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame as a member of the 92 Dream Team. Laettner almost purchased the Memphis Grizzlies. He had some legal problems, too, but, he tried his best. Anyway, Laettner lives in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida he was divorced with 3 children. He's donated a lot of money to Duke. So he played for Minnesota, Atlanta, Detroit, Dallas, Washington, and Miami. Anyway, so Laettner bounced around. He did okay for the first few seasons of his career, but by the end, he was just a shell of his former self. So in his career, he played 868 games, getting 12.8 points per game and 6.7 rebounds per game. In the playoffs, he would be part of 6 playoff runs. His longest run was 2005 with Miami, getting them to the, I would say the conference final, but I think I'm wrong. But anyway, yeah, he was Atlanta. Good for Atlanta. Then he went to Detroit. For Duke, he's just an icon. And all that. 148 games for Duke, 16.6 points per game. Of course, one NBA All-Star appearance in '97. Lots of stuff for the USA Basketball League, especially the Summer Olympics in '92. Two-time NCAA champion, MVP in '91. Consensus Player of the Year in '92. ACC Player of the Year a couple times. And Duke retired his jersey just before the playoff run. Anyway, he's part of the Naismith Hall of Fame because of the Dream Team. I mean, he could have been better about himself for his Duke career, but anyway, that's just how it goes. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond, I do.